Hey yo, you like Discord? You know you do. Go on over to Infendo.com, click on the community tab, join up with all the people just like you who want to talk about Infendo and Nintendo and all the other cool stuff you're doing with your life.
So connected to the world of Nintendo, even Link knows where to find us. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infendo Radio, episode 648. Now, we were off the air last week, but we were doing some very important work. You see, we actually traded in Justin's soul in a sacrificial practice to revive Steve for a very limited time so that he could come do this show with us in Justin's stead. So I am joined by my two effervescent, always bubbly, sometimes troubly co-hosts. However, they are not Justin and Eugene. As I prefaced, it is Steve and Eugene. So Steve, as the currently resurrected special guest on this show, how you doing tonight, and where can the people find you?
You have me for exactly 1 hour, at which point I will expire and you will see nothing. You will hear nothing. That'll be it.
You turn back into a pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing great.
Pretty sure Steve turns into a carrot or something like that. What do they grow in Utah? Is it carrots, radishes?
Sounds all right, everybody. Question block question. What crop does Steve turn into at the top of the hour?
Oh, no, he's definitely corn. Yeah, definitely corn.
Definitely corn. Definitely corn. And you can find me on Discord all the time, every day. There's an easier way to find it than I've been doing for all these years. Look at your phone, click on the little podcast thing that you're looking at, and look at the details. There's a link right there. Just click on it.
That's
I think we've kept that in there over the year, even though you've been gone. Like it's just it's you're forever in the Discord.
Yeah, this is like the mafia. Once you're in, you don't get out.
That's very true. That's exactly
without a bag of oranges.
Exactly what we always say. Eugene, how many mafias have you been in that you haven't been able to get out, and where can the people find you?
Well, I used to play Mafia Wars. That was a fun game, actually. I think it was like a Facebook game. But yeah, and then you had to get your friends to like your thing so you can get more money or something like that.
So you could be a level 60 mobster instead of a level 1 mobster.
Those were the days.
My dad got crazy hooked on the Godfather video game for the Wii. Like, he would be at work and he would dream at work about oh, I gotta go home and I gotta do this thing. I gotta extort that person to get this thing. It was really
I was thinking that Dad and I played that, but I'm pretty sure we played Scarface for the Wii. Maybe Scarface.
Oh
for
yeah, I
the
played
Xbox.
that one too.
Yeah, it was kind of like GTA. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's how this one was too. Anyway, Eugene, sorry I stole your thunder.
No, I stole yours, so I guess who's gonna steal Lucas's? We'll both find out here in a second.
You were good to steal mine because my internet froze, so all I heard was the bit about corn. I missed everything before.
Fair enough.
Off to a good start. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing good. You can find me on YouTube at Lucas Peace if you're interested in watching some videos about what I've been up to. I've actually been uploading a lot lately. I actually just uploaded yesterday a tour of my old Animal Crossing island, the one that is now deleted, which you will hear more about and change the system. So if you want to see all the work I put into my last island, you can go watch that video. It's 10 minutes. There's no dialogue. It's just text and a video. Go check it out.
It was a cool island. I didn't watch the video, but I've been to that island many times.
We want Dark Souls. We want Dark Souls.
Dark Souls still on the way, so is Inscription. But as I told my friend Andy, who watches some of my videos, and as you will hear throughout tonight's video, I also contracted a slight case of COVID-19 about a week and a half ago, so I'm getting over that. One of the side effects of that is talking for an extended period of time like I'm doing right now makes my throat tickle and want to cough. So I'm fine. I'm well. I've been vaccinated up and down and sideways, so I'm doing A-okay. But yeah, recording extended gameplay of frustrating games like Dark Souls
or playing Monster Hunter has also been difficult.
Yeah, we haven't gotten in a ton of Monster Hunter, but the Monster
haven't.
Hunter expansion did come out, and that's kind of why Steve wants to talk about this tonight. But before we get to any of that, and to give somebody else a chance to talk so I can rest my poor, delicate vocal cords, we have some news coming your way tonight. A couple of big pieces, actually. Who wants to talk about the B one? Who wants to bring up that topic? Do it.
I'll do it.
Hit 'em wild.
Saw the press release first thing this morning, watched the trailer, but Bayonetta 3 was announced that it has a release date. And if I'm not mistaken, Eugene, fact check me if I'm wrong, October 28th is the release date on that one. We got a brand new gameplay trailer. They confirmed some returning characters that I don't know, because even though I own both games and have for about 3 years now, I've never booted them up.
They also announced...
I've been told that I need to.
They also announced a new character that we'll apparently be able to play as, something of an apprentice witch who runs around and does stuff. One of the things...
For those of you that live outside the US, Bayonetta 1 is getting a physical release and Bayonetta 3 is getting a collector's edition. Last I saw, which was like, I don't know, before noon today, they had not announced that in the West yet.
One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is, so in the first game, you're pretty much fighting angels. You fight angels, you fight like that in-game universe of like God and everything. And that's the storyline of the first game, just the witch fighting angels and kind of bringing order to the world that's, in chaos and everything. In Bayonetta 2, your demons kind of go nuts and go rogue, and you kind of fight more of like the hell aspect. You go to hell, you fight a bunch of the demons that you allied with in the first game, and you're kind of fighting hell. In this game, the enemies are man-made creatures called homunculus, which kind of plays into Bayonetta's lore of like heaven, hell, and earth being like the three realms and everything. So it's cool that they're still like tying the games in with, like this whole theory of like balance and unity and everything.
Yeah, you won't play Darksiders.
Darksiders just doesn't interest
it's heaven,
me.
Hell, and humans. It's about the balance, the apocalypse. It doesn't
interest me, Steve.
Lucas. What are we?
But Bayonetta interests me a little bit. It's never been one of my favorite games, but it's probably my favorite Platinum game. I think I would go as far as to say that. Like, I tried,
would agree with that.
Yeah, I tried Wonderful 101 and a couple of their other games, and they haven't quite wowed me as much. Now, if I remember right, Nier Automata, that's a Platinum game, right? Or at least it's like co-developed by Platinum. Is that right?
I'll take a look, but I'm pretty sure you're right.
Okay. And then there was that other one that came out with the police that I never played. That one looked pretty good too, but I heard it was kind of short. So anyway,
that might be the first one that I actually play, because I've never played a Platinum game before.
Yeah, they're quality titles. It's just I don't know. They're always kind of hit or miss with me, like in terms of interest. But I'm excited for Bayonetta 3. I don't know that I'm going to be like running out to pick it up on launch or anything like that. But there will inevitably come a day where I'm like, okay, let's sit down and play through these games again. It's been a few years,
Platinum is near.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Platinum.
I'm thankful I can play it on a handheld system. Not one that I have to play on a TV and be embarrassed about, because I would be embarrassed about playing such games like that with Catherine or something like that. Yeah. I can just play it with headphones on and
don't be embarrassed to play Catherine.
I'm weird like
that. Bayonetta also like isn't that, unless my sensitivity is just way like lower than other people. People say Bayonetta is like really risque and like suggestive and stuff.
It can't be much worse. It can't be much worse than some of the shows my wife and I have watched.
Yeah,
together,
it's like mildly. It's mildly risque, but I would go so far as to say a show like American Horror Story has more sexual content than Bayonetta. You know? Like, it's just not
they've
that.
Had some rough seasons.
It's not that brutal. I can think of like one attack in Bayonetta 1 that would be like blush worthy if you were playing it in polite company. But for the most part, it's pretty. It was tame enough that the character made it into Smash Bros.
That's fair.
That's all I'm going to say about that. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, no. So that's Bayonetta. I'm excited. Admittedly not like jumping off the walls or anything, but we knew it was coming. Kind of excited to see where the series goes and see how it continues to go. This really was a series that was kind of saved by Nintendo. And it's kind of cool. It really has kind of earned a home on Nintendo.
It was one of those games where when I was when I worked at GameStop back in, I think I was there in 2010, 2011, because I was there for the Skyrim release. Yeah. But yeah, that was one of those ones that you always saw in like the $5 bin on Xbox. What was it, on 360? It was always in the $5 bin. We always had like 400 copies of it, would never sell. Yeah. And then the second they put it on a Nintendo system, it was like the hot thing again.
So yeah, I know I've said this story before, and this is only tangentially related to Bayonetta, but they did cross over in a game together, so I count it. Mad World, when I was in college and I went to the bargain bin at GameStop and I picked up Mad World for the Wii for $5, and I played through
It's
it
a
in
steal.
a night, and it was so unlike anything I had played before. Just over the top violence
You
and
got
gore,
the
and
Who's Line guy dealing out like the best
Uh-huh.
one-liners. It's like the best.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that game.
oh yeah, and he's the guy who if we're thinking of the same one, because there were two of them, but one of them was John DiMaggio, who is the voice of
the
Bender on
Yeah.
Futurama and Jake the dog on Adventure Time. So hearing him in that game is a delight.
It was I always think about. I'm just thinking about that game all the time. And you know what I think about actually more than anything that makes me so mad is that one of my friends. I shouldn't get mad at this, but one of my friends, I was playing it and he's like, "This game looks really cool, but I'll never play it because it's in black and white." I'm like, "Oh, that's such a narrow."
Right?
Yeah.
That's like I'll never watch Sin City because it's in black and white. Like,
that was a good movie. I always get Oddworld and Mad World mixed up because the titles are so similar.
And they're very different games.
Very
different.
I have the Mad World trilogy on Switch.
I have to say, too, since we're just kind of ranting and raving here, Anarchy Reigns, which is kind of the spiritual successor, decent game, but nowhere near the level of quality, in my opinion, that Mad World had. Just untouchable. I really wish we could get a proper sequel, but sometimes one and done is better than 20 that slowly rot and ruin a series.
Sure.
Speaking of games that come out in droves and potentially rot and ruin a series, we're getting a new Kirby game very soon, summer of 2022. This one took me completely by surprise. I was sitting on my computer. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube for work, so I'm constantly browsing YouTube in my free time. And I saw this promo for, I don't even remember what the name of it is now, but it was Kirby Gourmet something or other, or Kirby treat
Gourmet
track or something. Yeah, it's something like that.
Kirby's Dream Buffet.
Dream Buffet. Thank you. Well, I saw the image and I was like, "There's no somebody made a fan game or something, or it's like an animation." I said, "It's from Nintendo." I'm like, "Oh, is it a game? Are we getting a game?" Sure enough, it's this little looks to be the kind of game that would be free to play. They have not announced it's free to play, which makes me think it probably won't be. But this little Kirby game where you roll around these Kirby balls and you eat up food and you kind of battle each other and knock people off bridges and stuff. And then at the end, a player has the most points and they win, kind of like Four Swords Adventure style.
Whichever Kirby is the fattest is the one that wins.
Exactly, which is pretty
really
much true
cool.
to life, right?
Yeah.
But So I'm intrigued. I want this game. It looks like fun. It looks like it's completely tied to local and online multiplayer. So I hope we can play with strangers because I know I'm not going to be playing with any of you guys for more than a night. So hope that happens.
You'll get one Let's Play out of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this game looks fun. It looks simple and it looks fun. And I hope that it's cheap and I hope that it's accessible because I hope it's good. I really want to play this game. It just looks like a nice.
You know what I kind of want?
Action.
I kind of want it to be a Switch Online exclusive, like Tetris 99 and
that would be a good idea.
Pac-Man 99.
Now, as far as I can tell, they did say summer 2022. But on the, I kind of dug in a little bit on the details. It said pricing and release date to be announced at a future time. So how future, I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would be a day announced release kind of thing, but clearly that's not the case. But Kirby is not afraid to make little cheap, those fighting games they came out with, the Smash Light game and stuff. And
it almost got me to download one of those. So I was like,
yeah. So we'll see what happens with this one if anything comes out of it. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'm hopeful that this will be a good one.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot if it's cheap. But if it's more than about $10-15, I probably won't. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to bring to the table, or should we just pivot? I know it was kind of
there was one more piece of news. Let me just grab it real quick. Well, two more actually. There was another press release. Nintendo of America announced they have a new executive vice president of sales, marketing, and communications.
I got a little distracted by that one. The way you posted the picture, it kind of confused me.
Yeah, it was, her name is Devin Pritchard, I believe. Yeah. And evidently she's been with Nintendo since November of 2021.
Yeah, the article was a little...
That's a lie. Member of Nintendo for almost 16 years. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the article was a little weird because it said Nintendo of America today named Devin Pritchard Executive Vice President of Sales, Marketing, and Communications, following her tenure as the acting executive in that role since November 2021. So I guess she's been in the role that she officially got for the last year, basically.
It's probably like one of those things. The old guy retired in front of her, and then they were trying to find somebody else, and
and she was kind of like
Yeah,
it sounds like she was in like a trial phase kind of thing, and now she's on board. So I don't think this will really bring about any waves at the company at all. You know, she's an executive of sales for an American branch of a Japanese company where the American division doesn't really do like any development or anything. So, you know, we'll see if your Switch prices suddenly go down by like $50, then you know that, you know, maybe she had a hand in that. But
yeah, I figured it was just worth mentioning, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of news here and there, you know.
So
well, we have been off the air for 2 weeks, and even though there are only 3 of us, we have some stuff to talk about. So I'm going to let us pivot now to change the system. I think in the interest of his sanity, I'm going to let Eugene go first because Steve, you and I are going to overlap. So I think one of us can probably end with a game that the other one can start with, and we can just kind of build off of each other from there. But for now,
I dare say that'll be the case.
Eugene, you've had a couple of weeks here to play some games. What have you been up to? How much Elden Ring have you put into that 2-week period?
I actually want to start with a different game this time. It's a new one. Oh my god. Yeah, it came out pretty recently, actually. It's called Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
What?
No. He's been waiting all day to do that, guys.
Don't do that to us, Eugene. You can't do that to us.
It's like,
that'd be like me getting on and saying, so I've been playing Elden Ring.
So the funny thing is, though, Lucas, is I didn't think it was possible, but then I remembered it also came on Steam. So he could have been playing it without our knowing, because he would have been playing on Steam.
Wow, your brain went real quick. I was just like, he got it on Switch.
No, he didn't get it. We would have seen him online.
I know. I would have been invited to like a hunting guild or whatever they're called. I don't even know. But no,
we would have hunted.
Oh,
I've been playing. Sorry.
Also, Lucas, he couldn't have done it because you have to beat the main game to even get to that content.
You're thinking way too hard.
This is what I do. Welcome to me.
So I've been playing Xbox because I have one now. There is a lot of Game Pass games. Luckily for the audience, a lot of those Game Pass games overlap because they are also on the Switch. So I've been playing a game called Unpacking, which is actually on the Switch. It's cool. Got it for free. It was I think it's like $20 on the Switch or something like that. I've seen it on sale before though, but in any case, it's pretty fun. It's giving my wife a little bit of anxiety, I feel, because she's watching me as I'm playing, and she's like, that doesn't go there, that brush should go in the drawer. It's just fun. It's like it's a nice palette cleanser in between like Elden Ring deaths, you know. Just kind of go unpack some boxes, try and find it's like a small puzzle game, so like, you know, you'll have to put the pots and pans in the kitchen where they're supposed to go, you know, things like that.
I've got a pile of boxes sitting next to me if you want to unpack.
There's also that kind of like environmental storytelling involved, because like, you know, you're putting the same like pig stuffed animal, you're unpacking that every time. Ever since you were a little kid, you've been taking that to every place since you got there. So yeah, it's kind of interesting concept.
Then you notice one of the knives you unpack is covered in blood, and the mystery begins.
Actually, sure, maybe. Haven't gotten that far yet, but I wouldn't put it past it yet. Past this step.
He's still on the bathroom.
Yeah, right. No,
I thought you were like talking to family. I was like, Steve, we're doing a show right now. Can it wait?
But yeah, no, it's fun. It's called Unpacking. I think I'm about like halfway through. It's not a long game. I think that if you, I know there's like, you know, different medals and achievement type things that you can get if like you do things in the proper method. You can even turn off the puzzle mode, so like you can like literally just put things where you want it to, anywhere. But yeah, that's what that game's all about. So what else we got on the table? You guys want to hear about Elden Ring some more? Because that's that's what
now,
I've been
I
playing
forget,
too.
when last we left you, you had finished the game, beaten the final boss, and you were new game plussing. Is that right?
Yeah, new game plus. So still doing my thing. It's interesting because like still seeing things that I've never seen before in that stupid game. The map is just massive, like it is just absolutely incredibly massive. I don't know that it's as dense as I would like it, because there is a lot of like empty space, but I guess that kind of gives you a lull in between like dying a million times, because you're trying to like traverse to this cliff up here, but you might actually have to like go all the way around the mountain to find a trail back here, that type of thing. So I'm still enjoying it. It's pretty hard, like especially the new game plus stuff, because everybody gets a little bit harder, everybody gets a little a little bit more souls after you defeat, or runes after you defeat them. But yeah, still doing that. Still relying on a lot of help though, because like I when I can't beat a boss, I'm still like summoning people in, because I'm not good enough to solo them a lot of the times. And you can get these ashes of war, but I'm really bad at upgrading stuff in this game. I actually just realized about like towards the end of the first playthrough that you can actually upgrade those things, because okay, so an ash of war is a summon. You bring these little ghosts in. Basically, you can summon in like enemies that you've been fighting the whole time. So like I can summon in like these jellyfish if I really wanted to help me fight. They're not very helpful, so I wouldn't probably summon in those. But
they're pretty.
Yeah, but you can upgrade them all too. Going to, I think it's like in the round table hold or something like that is where you upgrade them. But anyways,
words.
Yeah, no kidding. But you can upgrade them, make them stronger, and I did not realize that until like very, very, very late in the game. And that's been helping me very tremendously, because yeah, like I have these like wolves that are like just doing work now. It's great. So yeah, that's Elden Ring. What else? The other games I've been playing are honestly not really games. I've been doing a lot of this will bleed into you, Steve, so buckle up. I've been playing a lot with my Flipper Zero, because I've been I kind of had all of
Go ahead.
kind of did all the NFC stuff that I could do, because there's not really much, right? Like you already found it. There's a whole database of like literally every amiibo ever imaginable, including some amiibos that haven't even been announced yet, because people, you just get the code and you just like add a 0 to it, and then you find another amiibo type of thing, right? Wow. So yeah, that there's only so much I can do with that. So I've kind of been learning to code a little bit, compiling code. Ooh. You'll learn if you like actually want to do more with this than just amiibo stuff, Steve. But like you can actually
let's pause right there for just a second.
Go ahead.
Lucas, I hate you. I hate you.
I got an email. Okay, so let's put this into perspective. Let's start the story at its logical beginning. So Eugene got this thing. He pre-ordered it on Kickstarter like 5 years ago at this point.
And I was already like,
"Ooh, this 22 is cool. Years ago."
Yeah,
this
22
cool.
years ago.
I want one. Oh, that's a bit much. Maybe not.
Back in the 80s when we were all listening to Justin Bieber and Carly Rae Jepsen.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ordered it, and I wanted to get one too, but I didn't want to get one so badly that I was willing to buy it. So I didn't get it. But I am signed up on their newsletter. So when it goes live for sale again, like I get notifications. Now I got a notification. What was it today? I think yesterday. It was recent.
Hang on. Let me check my email.
Days are all bleeding together.
Yeah, that happens.
But anyway,
yesterday.
I got a notification yesterday, and I sent a message in Discord because, everybody was kind of interested in this when they heard about it. Mm-hmm. I decided not to get one again because they are kind of expensive. I just had a couple of recent purchases come up that I had to do, and it's not in my wheelhouse just yet, but it is something that I want because I basically want Watch Dogs to be real life, and this thing basically allows you to kind of live that life, which is pretty amazing. But anyway, Steve, what did you do when I sent that notification?
So I was like, crap. in the last 2 weeks since Monster Hunter came out, I have spent $47 on amiibo cards and amiibo coins. I saw the price on this thing was 160, whatever the hell it is. And I realized that I could get an SD card and load the entire database of amiibos, period, end of story, and continually update that.
So, Steve, what did you do?
Oh, I pre-ordered it.
He did. He pre-ordered it.
It ships in August.
Within minutes of me posting the link, he pre-ordered it. So,
and immediately gave you multiple middle fingers. Back to you, Eugene.
Yeah, as Steve mentioned, you can basically put amiibo on this. I put other NFC things on there, like we stayed at a hotel a couple of weeks ago, and they had one of those fancy, cards things that you wave on the door. Was able to put that on the flipper, which was really cool.
My work badge would work on it.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Not to make this the flipper show or anything, but how complex is it to do that kind of stuff? Like, what level of computery know-how? Okay, so it's not like a whole big
the
C
interface,
/
the
interface MP4.
It's got a little circle pad that has an up, down, left, and right. It has a button in the center to confirm, and a button that off to the side that goes.
You're what scanning NFC NFC chips and stuff, and then registering them to the system and stuff like that. Cool.
Yeah,
and obviously that's like baby's first step. It can go a lot more detailed than that. But,
exactly. Yeah, you can, if that's all you want to do, so super easy. You don't need to get do anything. But for me, I've actually installed a custom firmware on here because some people have unlocked, it's an open source device. So the developers have actually, released the source code. So there's a lot of different branches on GitHub that you can choose from. I'm using the Rogue Master branch. And unlocks a few things, adds games to it. So I have cool. I have Tetris, I have Texas Hold'em.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can do on here. But again, if you just want to go with somebody else's stuff, like the Rogue Master firmware, then you don't need to know any code. Just download somebody else's stuff, whatever. What I've been getting into recently is compiling my own builds of this, because there's different plugins and different things that you can add to it that might not be on this firmware, but you want to add it, type of thing, So that's been a whole other wheelhouse, a whole other world for me. I've never compiled code before like this before. It's been fun learning though. So it's kind of opened up my perspective on what you can actually do with things. I knew I had a computer. I knew that you could code things, but I just never knew what that was all about. And the Flipper Zoo has kind of unlocked that potential in my brain, I guess. So it's fun. Cool. The other thing I've been messing around with is the bad USB on here, because there's a bad USB program or plugin that you can use, which basically, think about it as if a hacker had a USB and they wanted to plug it into a computer and run a bunch of scripts and commands, it's that. Cool. You can basically put your own scripts on there and do things. So I've been learning to add a couple of scripts. I have one called, you can download all these too from different repositories, but there's this one called Show Save Passwords, and it's scary actually. So what it does is it runs this script and it looks through your probably your temp files on your computer or something like that, or your Chrome files, and it finds the file that has your saved passwords in it, exposes it, puts it all in a spreadsheet, all within the matter of 10 seconds. So if I had access to somebody's computer, I can do some crazy stuff, it's pretty scary.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Also a really useful tool for you though, if you just want to compile all of your own passwords.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
When I was reading the the web page on this, it says this is designed for pen testers and people that want to see where vulnerabilities and stuff are.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the coolest, and I probably shouldn't tell you this, Steve, because you might cancel your pre-order, but they're already starting development on the Flipper 1, which I'm excited for, and I'm definitely going to absolutely get.
So the whole point of me getting this, I had bought a set of Monster Hunter amiibo coins, and I bought a new set of Zelda amiibo cards to keep in my controller case in my backpack, so I have access to those 31 amiibo at any time.
Okay.
That was the whole that. So that was that
This
one
becomes,
purchase.
yeah.
This becomes the flipper, and that's what my flipper will be for.
See,
Eventually,
yeah.
if I get a new job, I might get a second one when I'm making more money type deal. But that's what this main thing is for.
See, I would want that too, but I would also want the ability to open and shut all of my neighbors' garage doors on a whim and just really like
Yeah.
frustrate them. Like that would be my big thing with the flipper. It would be like garage
don't
goes
get me
up,
wrong.
garage goes down, garage goes up, garage goes down.
There's plenty of fun to be had with this thing that will be had
Yeah.
in my own house.
That type of stuff is
go
a
to the
little.
Applebee's, click.
That stuff is a little bit more on the gray area side. Like you can definitely do that if you want to, but it's a little bit harder. Like it's not as easy as like downloading a script and like pointing it at the garage door. Like
Right.
I would probably actually have to like have access
Walk
to
over
their
to the
remote.
garage door,
Or like be hiding in the bushes while they're getting home, and then they're pushing the button on their remote, and then exactly.
Clearly,
like, 'cause
he's
you can
thought
clone
about
it.
this before.
I love it. Well, you had even said at one point when you were just playing around and like surveying the neighborhood, you tapped into somebody's pacemaker, and that kind of freaked you out.
Well,
So,
there's
like,
it's not, so there was the firmwares. You can unlock different firmwares. One of the firmwares that I downloaded was, I didn't like it because you can actually tap into like a frequency that's used for like medical equipment, and like I was scanning and I kept scanning this frequency in like this one range that I didn't recognize or whatever. And I looked it up online, and it turns out that that's like where medical equipment lives. I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to fuck with somebody's pacemaker,
And,
or something.
You can use it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Eugene, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can use it to reprogram RFIDs. And RFIDs are what they use for the kyber crystals inside the lightsabers.
Oh.
So, ironically,
Steve can reprogram his
I
kyber
can
crystals.
reprogram my kyber crystals, so I can put the yellow one in, and it would do the
Mm-hmm.
red blade instead.
Yeah, there's it'll do RFIDs. In fact, I have a old I probably shouldn't incriminate myself here on live audio, but here we are. I used to work at the high school, local high school, and they had these key cards that had RFID. Well, I never turned mine in, and I'm pretty sure that my card still works. So I put that on my flipper, and I'm going to test it out one of these 2 a.m. mornings.
Eugene's gonna go creeping at the high school at 2 a.m.
See, my badge for work is RFID, but they deactivate them when you turn them in. So,
Okay.
or if you don't turn them in and you get terminated, security
which is why you've got to
access.
scan it before you get.
Pretty sure
Well,
that
that's the thing, is I can scan it, but if that badge number isn't active, then it still won't let me in.
pretty sure that the secretary at the public high school has no idea how to do any of that. So pretty sure
Unless,
that
for all you know, they're a master hacker and they're following you every step of the way.
That could also be true.
could happen. Yeah, it could happen. But yeah, no, I've been just messing around a lot with the flipper. It's fun. I've even tempted to get some, and I'm sorry, I'm going to pass it on to you guys here in a second. But I'm tempted to get some. They have some accessories that you can plug into the top. There's like pins up on the top, so like you can buy like different boards or like even make your own boards and plug it into those little slots. It's called. Let's see. It's a. Where is it? The GPIO interface. Some people know what that means. I don't really, but I want to learn. And then it could be pretty cool. I'm really interested.
I know
in
IO
this
is
device.
input output, but I can't remember what
GP
the
is
GP is.
Grand Prix, so that's the Grand Prix input output.
I'm tempted to order the Wi-Fi board that Flipper has on their website that you can plug into that thing. So. But yeah, that's it for me. What have you monsters hunting?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start, Lucas.
Be my guest.
So I've been playing exactly 2 games in the last forever. I've gotten back into Animal Crossing. So I finally got around. So Lucas decided that he was going to clear out his island, and he needed a safe place to store all his junk. I mean, all his expensive stuff.
I saved all of the squeakoids.
Yep.
I saved them all. Don't worry, they're in safe hands.
All the squeakoids were safe. Were being the operative word. Now they're back home on your new place.
They're home. Yeah.
So
They're home.
when I stored all of his stuff, I'm like, that's an entire inventory's worth of stuff. I wonder how far I am from 5-starring my island. So I did the thing where you fill up your inventory with all that garbage that you've got in, stored in your house that you never see in your storage, and just started dropping it in big empty spaces on my island. I found I was only 2 inventories plus Lucas's junk from 5-starring my island. So I went ahead and put my 2 inventories worth of stuff away, got 2 inventories worth of stuff that made sense to be on my island, and actually placed it on my island and decorated my island, and finally got my 5-star rating. So now I've got the golden watering can, which I'm excited about. So I immediately went ahead and got golden roses because those sell for normally 1,200 bells, but I've got the bell booming ordinance on, so I get an extra 20% anytime I sell on my island. But in turn, everything costs 20% more, which isn't a big deal when I've got 15 million bells in the bank. So that was fun. And then I realized there's a flower that only grows on 5-star islands that I believe is called the Lily of the Valley. And one spawns for every week that your island is at a 5-star rating. So I went ahead and added those to my collection of flowers in my big flower meadow as well. So that was fun. And then a little game came out. A little game that's managed to sell 3 million copies, according to the official Twitter feed. Nice. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is out. It came out on like Wednesday night at whatever time it came out. I took Thursday and Friday off, and Lucas decided he was going to get COVID, so we barely got to play together. Son of a gun.
I did decide that, actually. Yeah.
You're like, this would be a fun way to ruin it for Steve.
It was a creative choice.
So here's the fun thing, though. I've watched all the trailers for this, so I knew everything that was in the expansion.
I know nothing.
I've watched a couple of trailers, and I've decided not to spoil everything for Lucas. So, and I know that there's a couple of them that are coming up that he's going to lose his shit about, that I refuse to tell him. Oh, I swore, I'm sorry. That I refuse to tell him about. So he is actually going into this completely blind, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him. Like, we got a second loading screen after doing, what was that ice wolf called? Lucas?
Putting me on the spot here.
Lunagaron?
Ludicolo. Yes, Ludicolo.
Yeah. So we fought him, and after we fought him, we got a new loading screen. And Lucas is like, that looks suspiciously like whatever monster. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Wasn't it? Oh God, help me.
Gormagala.
Yeah, Gormagala.
That looks an awful lot like Gormagala. I'm like, yeah, he's in it. I'm so excited. And Lucas has no idea going into this, which is
I don't know what's what. It's all new to me. See, because unlike Steve, I actually like to play the game like when the game comes out, not 3 months before the game comes out. So it's all new and exciting for me. Steve's like, oh yeah, we're getting this thing. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep. Well, and the part that's been the hardest for me, though, isn't so much not spoiling everything for Lucas. It's not progressing past Lucas, because I've had the time to where I could easily go past him, but I haven't. I refuse to. Instead, I'm grinding out stuff that I really haven't had time to do because we've been working on other stuff in the game. So my thing that I'm working on right now is collecting every set of dual blades that exists in the game and maxing them out. I am 2 sets of dual blades away from having a complete set, and then I start maxing stuff out, which is actually kind of cool. There's dual blades that I've stared at throughout this entire game that thought, oh, that would be nice, but I don't have them because we haven't farmed the monsters. And much like Eugene and Elden Ring, there are some monsters I just don't feel like I could do on my own. So some of them I have, what is it called, Lucas? Join request.
Yeah.
There are some monsters that I have done join requests for to actually, farm those monsters for the parts I need.
Yeah.
But I'm proud to say I'm better at the game than I thought I was. Like some of these hunts that I've tried to do on my own, they've been close and they've been down to the wire. But there was a couple of elder dragons that I took down. It was a 50-minute hunt window two Elder Dragons, and what were they, Lucas? Teostra and Kushala, I think they were.
Yeah.
Those are two of the tougher Elder Dragons that exist in the
Yes,
game.
they are.
And I took them down on my last life with 5 minutes left in the hunt. Felt really, really good to do that one.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
There's one that my last 7-star quest, in fact, Lucas, is the one I'm
our last 7-star quest.
Yeah, our last one. I refuse to do without you.
Same.
Who is it? Is it Valstrax?
Valstrax. I think it's Valstrax and Chameleos. I don't remember.
Oh,
all I remember is
Chameleos.
Valstrax. See, the thing is, and we're a little bit stronger now, but we're still not that strong. I tried to solo that one, and he basically one-shot me multiple times. So it's gonna be
because that attack where he flies away and then comes back and slams down onto the ground, that is a one-shot attack. I don't think it matters how high your defense is; he will kill you.
Yeah.
So I am kind of looking forward to when we break the master rank cap to see how much farther ahead of Lucas I might be. I suspect it's gonna be a difference.
We'll see though, because eventually I'm gonna get better, but you're still gonna have work. So
yeah,
if I can stall you long enough, maybe I can catch up.
This is true. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying the DLC. Well worth the ungodly amount of money I paid, because I couldn't just get the DLC. I had to get the amiibo for the new Elder Dragon,
which we talked about already.
I had to get the controller.
What? There's a controller?
There's a pro controller.
Yeah, there's a pro controller. There's a Monster Hunter Rise pro controller, and there's a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak pro
See, Eugene usually doesn't hear about this stuff because I don't buy in for extra crap. So when a new game comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, the game came out.
So here's what I did on that, Eugene. I got the controller, right? And I had some credit at Best Buy, so I was getting it for like $30. And then I have a Smash Pro controller, so I sold that to a buddy of mine for $50. And then I ended up with an extra pre-order for it because I found one that I could get today, and I found one that I could get next week, and I already had the one for next week pre-ordered. So then I'm like, okay, do I cancel this pre-order or what? So I reached out to Lucas. Lucas doesn't want it. So I reached out to another friend of mine, and he's like, yeah, I'll take it. He's like, I don't have a pro controller, I could use it. So he's buying that one new in box at retail price. My other friend bought my old Smash controller for, $50 plus the price of shipping to Arizona. So yeah, it's been and then of course I had to buy the 6 amiibo coins to keep in my controller case to do the daily lottery.
You've missed him. You've missed him.
There's nobody like me that will ever be on this show, Eugene.
This goes deep. You are a capitalist's wet dream. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So, and I think that's actually it. I did buy the new Sonic collection, and that is a lot of fun. Very glad I bought that.
Have we discussed that yet on the show? How long has it been? Have I talked about that? I must have talked about that. Yes. Okay, good.
You talked
because I wasn't planning on adding that into my routine tonight.
No, you talked about it because I remember Justin saying that it doesn't include the 8-bit versions, so he's gonna wait till it goes on sale to buy it.
That's right.
Hey, it's Magnum Malo. Okay,
it is Magnum Malo. Okay, well then it's my turn, and I've got a lot to talk about, so forgive me. As I mentioned on the top of the show, I've been a wee bit sick lately. I got really sick like 2 weeks ago. In fact, I think the last show that we did, I was actually like out of breath during the show, like hot, sweating, like just a mess. And I thought that was COVID, but then I got better. And then 2 days later, I got this, and this I tested positive for, and this was actually COVID. So I don't know what the last thing I had was, but I've been sick for like a month, basically. Mm-hmm. In that time, my phone also decided to just randomly die. It shut off and would not turn back on. So I just got a new phone tonight, and there's some exciting developments with that. I can do some things I couldn't do before because it's a little bit new. NFC. But in the process, this stuff has changed a lot of my gaming habits, because whereas normally I probably would have been recording nothing but Monster Hunter over and over and over again, maybe a little Inscription, maybe a little Dark Souls. Wow, I can't believe that's the one that I blanked on. But those are the kind of games that I've been kind of playing lately and recording. I haven't really been doing any of that. I'd been doing Fall Guys recordings, but I kind of had to stop doing that because it's also, there's a lot of talking and a lot of playing and stuff. And I've just been playing games that I can sit quietly in bed and play on my own time. So the first game that I played was Minecraft, actually. Steve and I have a realm. It's called Hot Zippo Wings. It's a pretty cool place, actually. It's full of all kinds of cool, fun
Our
stuff.
lava castle is fun.
Yeah, we have like a volcano base. We made a volcano, basically. It's a whole thing. It's a way to pass the time. So I'm have this desperate dream. We used to have a realm. We actually still do have the realm. But this was back when we had like a lot of people that would play with us and stuff. We had this big realm full of our different cities we'd built. We invited all these people and it filled up with stuff. Justin was there for a while. It was a good time. I have this dream of eventually turning this into another one of those. And that would mean getting people on board again and playing again. And Steve and I have talked about in the future opening this area up to other, members of his Discord and stuff, but we haven't done that yet. And we haven't even dove that deep into this realm yet. But I decided I'm going to go out on my own.
The Nether yet.
Yeah, well, I decided I'm going to go out on my own. There was a little area that I liked. It had kind of like an amphitheater and a forest and everything. It's a cool spot. And I decided I'm going to build a nice house there because I want a house, just a regular house, not a floating jelly bean fortress surrounded by iguanas, but like a regular house, right? Something I never make in this game. And I made a house and it's nice and it's quaint and it's charming and it's delightful and I love it. That's how I spent the first day of my really sick time. And then I was like, I need something else to play. And you know what? The game that's a lot like Minecraft, but is also entirely different? Animal Crossing. So I was like, I'm going to play Animal Crossing. But not just any Animal Crossing. I want to start Animal Crossing over. But wait, I had all these amazing things. I had all the squeakoids that had been gifted to me live on the show, by the way.
Yeah, that was fun.
They're my prize, my treasure, my everything. I have a few other like really expensive things that I've saved up for in the game over the year, like trucks and stuff that are worth a lot of money. And I was like, I kind of want to store some of this stuff. So I hit Steve up and I'm like, hey, Steve, you mind holding on to all this stuff for me while I reset my game?
Which in turn got me playing again.
Which actually, yeah, that night I saw him and he was on for like 5 hours.
I went to bed at 3.
So like I said, if you really want to see my old island, which is New Hewa, I have a 10-minute video tour of that up on my channel, Lucas Peace. You can go check that out, actually. I plan on revisiting that every now and then because it's nostalgic, I put a lot of work into that island. I did all like the ground textures and everything myself, and I'm proud of how it came out, even though there were a lot of things I never finished. This time I want to do something kind of different, and I have a lot of ideas, but it's going to take a while because you don't even unlock terraforming until like a month into the game. I actually get Isabel and the town center tomorrow, so the game will be opening up a little bit for me then. I think I get amiibos at that point, so yeah, things will be progressing a little bit faster from now on. But I've been enjoying it. It's a fun game. I think I started it 8 days ago at this point, so I've been having fun.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a good time. But that's Animal Crossing. Really nothing revolutionary to talk about there. Kind of same old, same old. The other game that I've been playing very passively. Oh, there's a couple. Okay, let's do this one next. Portal. I jumped into Portal 1. Remember how we had that conversation that Portal came out? And I was like, oh, Portal's out. Well, I downloaded it immediately. And I played through all of Portal 1. Haven't touched Portal 2 because that's kind of like committing to watching a movie. It's like a big thing. There's a plot. It's like a 20-hour game. It's a little bit more than I wanted right now. Portal 1 is a nice little 2 to 3 hour experience. You sit down, you do some puzzles. There's promise of cake. The cake is a lie. And then, the game ends. So really enjoyed my replay through of Portal. It's a very enjoyable game. I did all the little bonus, difficult puzzles that are included with the DLC packs they did over the years and stuff. So just kind of a fun way to pass the time there, but nothing really too interesting on the Portal front. The other game that I've been playing that you already kind of knew about was Sam & Max, and I hit that game hard, especially when I lost my phone. See, normally when I go into bed, I have YouTube on in the background or I'm watching TV. I might be playing a game, I'm doing something, I'm active, I'm engaged. With my phone gone, I was kind of at a loss for how to spend my nights. And Sam & Max kind of became the solution to that because playing those games is kind of like watching a TV show. And that kind of became how I spent most of my nights. I got through all of the first game, which is all 6 chapters. I am more than halfway through the second game, and I'm desperately wishing that the third game would be released sooner because I really want to play through that one as well. I really like these games, and I don't really have anything else to say about them other than that because they're like 15 years old at this point, but they're good games, and I recommend them if you like a good point and click, puzzly kind of, head scratcher that will occasionally make you go, come on, that doesn't make any sense. How was I supposed to know that was there and I was supposed to pick it up? But it's a good game. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been logging into Fall Guys daily just to unlock a bunch of rewards and stuff.
We saw you playing that the other night.
Yeah, the last challenge they had. See, I haven't really been playing it. I've just kind of been like logging in, collecting rewards because they refresh the shop daily and then logging out. I do still want to play that with you and Justina. But the last challenge they had that I got into was a couple of weeks ago. It was the Halo one. They had like a Master Chief costume you could unlock and stuff. So I did that. This one is a Assassin's Creed one, which I'm a lot less invested in. So for the next like week and a half, I'm just really not that interested in like completing the challenges and unlocking stuff. But I still pop in every day because, every now and then they have like an outfit that I want to buy or something. And I'm getting all spruced up. So, goals, dreams, aspirations, all that stuff.
I want the chicken suit.
Yeah, I'll tell you if it ever comes to the store. The only other thing I want to talk about is normally I do a game night on Saturday nights. Not every Saturday night, but every other Saturday night. And I haven't been able to do that because I've been kind of sick and I haven't been wanting to spread it to people. So last Saturday night, we actually got together through Tabletop Simulator. And we played a game called Spirit Island, which is really cool. Have you guys ever heard of this game?
Heard of it. Never played
Spirit
it.
Island.
So you're a god, and you can choose from like the god of the river, the god of fire, the patron deity of the villagers, whatever you want, the embodiment of lightning. There's literally one that's the ocean. You can't extend beyond like the sea, but you can like swallow things up. You spread fear. There's these invading, imperialists that come in. It might be like Sweden or Germany or whatever, but there's these imperialist nations that come in and they basically take over your island. And your goal is to keep the island from getting blighted and eventually like succumbing to the blight and everything, while inducing fear in them or killing them off and eventually keeping the island, safe for you. And if you choose your little mini inhabitants, the Dahan. So I played around first with the guy who usually hosts just so we could kind of learn the game. Then I played around with a group of 4. It's a co-op game. So you each choose a god and you each have strengths and weaknesses. So like the first time we played, it was me and this guy. I was the river god and he was the ocean god. So we had kind of a weird synergy because I could push like invaders off into like the ocean and then he could swallow them up and convert them into energy and everything, and we were kind of playing off of each other. There's like a deck building component, so you start with a set of powers and you use energy to use the powers and you gain more energy as you play and more cards and stuff like that and kind of randomize your build. The second time I played as, I forget what her name is, but she's like the patron god of like the villagers. Because in the game, there's these little villager people and they kind of like fight for you, but they're not defensive. They're like tied to the land. So like if they go into battle on their own, they're going to get killed, even if there's like a few of them kind of stuff. So my whole thing was like my essence was tied to them basically. So I could push them around the board. I could push them into the ocean, and the guy who was playing as the ocean could move me to another sea. And then I could like bring my army out and we could like just wreck house. It was a fun time. I really like co-op games, which is probably why I'm so into Monster Hunter. And I really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. So cool. apparently there's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot of expansion packs and stuff that you can choose to have. I guess a couple of the people I was playing with actually have it physically, so maybe I'll be able to play it again when we're all feeling better. But I really liked it. It was a really fun time. And I guess there's even a solo version too. So, that might eventually end up on one of my wish lists as well. But, it's a really cool game. Again, Spirit Island. So if you're a board game person and you have a group of people that you want to play that with, give it a try. It's fun. It was right up my alley. I very much enjoyed it. That is kind of the long and short of what I've been up to. Like I said, kind of a weird couple of weeks. I've basically just been like lying in bed playing video games for most of it and then sleeping. So, you get the good with the bad, but it's put me in a very casual mood lately. Like I said, I haven't touched Inscription in weeks. Dark Souls, I've been wanting to get back to that one, but I'm just not, I'm not there yet. So, Yeah, those are kind of the games I've been playing in the interim. And now I think Animal Crossing is going to be a big one for me for a very long time because I want to turn my island into something cool. So, unlocking that's going to be it's going to be a challenge. Well, this is normally
to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited to show you. And if it's good, I'll probably do another video too, because I kind of want to show off, what I'm making stuff. It was fun doing that one, actually. I've always watched videos like that, but I've never really done one. This is normally the part of the night where I would say bye-bye. However, we have a question from our question block segment. If you want to ask us a question, I guess the best place to do that is on Infendo's Discord. Eugene lives there all by himself, kind of a hermit of sorts, and he seems to collect these questions from people as they come in, kind of as a form of payment for subsisting in our beautiful Discord channel. Andy Searson, aka DJ, aka our buddy, our special friend, writes in, with the success of Mario plus Rabbids showing what a third-party studio can do with a niche take on Nintendo IPs, what other studio would you like to take on a similar project? What IP would they use and what would the game genre be? And I'm going to let Steve start this conversation because he's been planning for this one all day. And I have not been planning for this at all. So Steve,
what have you got? I read this question and this is an incredibly simple question. That's incredibly difficult to pin down at its core. And maybe it's because we're playing Monster Hunter right now and I'm kind of on that Monster Hunter high. I want the team that did Monster Hunter Stories to reboot the Pokemon franchise.
That's a cool idea.
Think about that for a minute. I remember saying on the show that Monster Hunter Stories 2 is the best Pokemon game we've had in years. It's got the collect 'em aspect. The battle system, again, very simple at its core. You've got the 3 types of monsters in a rock, paper, scissors fashion, but then you've also got the elemental types on top of that. So dragons are weak to dragons in most cases. Electric's weak to ice. Ice. Anyway, you get all that stuff, right? But it's got the added component of being able to ride monsters. If they can take the Monster Hunter franchise and make that work, imagine what they could do with the original franchise, the original license, the characters.
That'd be cool.
And a roster of over 1,000 monsters at this point.
Okay, I know what I want now, but Eugene, do you have one in mind yet?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a little bit. I've got 2 actually. So the first one, I don't know that I want it because I want to play it. I just want it to see if it works. So I would want Playtonic to take over the Donkey Kong franchise and make another 3D Donkey Kong game, and see if they can see if they can do something like that, like a Donkey Kong 64 2, basically.
I think they could do it. Ukulele was so close to being there. It just wasn't quite there, and that's not that it's a bad game. It's just not quite there because
I've said this.
Have the money, the staff, or the IP. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Playtonic doesn't have the resources to be as big as they want to be, and I think if they were backed by a company like Nintendo, they would have those. There would be nothing other than their own skill preventing them from making a good game, and I think they have that talent.
They've got the. You're right. They've got the talent. They don't have the resources. Both of their games are exceptional.
Yeah,
they're just.
But they feel like indie games.
They do.
Yeah, they feel like indie games. They feel like something that was made with a Kickstarter fund. Because they don't have multiple $1 million to invest into. Yeah, exactly. What's your other one, Eugene?
So my second one is on the 2D side. I would want. I was about to say Playtonic again. I would want Way Forward to take over the Metroid franchise and make a 2D Metroid.
Interesting.
My 2D one that I had thought about, I want Yacht Club Games to reboot the Donkey Kong Country franchise.
That'd be cool.
I think that they could actually do it.
I could see it too, actually. So I also have 2 games, and one of mine is also Metroid, so I'll start there. But this is not the one I really want. This is kind of my side one that I thought of while we were talking. I would also like a Metroid game, but I would like the exact opposite of it. I don't even know their names, but basically the team that made No Man's Sky, I would like them to make a Metroid game, which is much more focused on open world exploration. You're still collecting power-ups, you're building your power suit and all that stuff, but more like a bounty hunter-ish kind of thing where you're like hopping from planet to planet, collecting bounties, fighting other bounty hunters, kind of like what they did with the DS.
I was going to say kind of what they did with Hunters, but
I loved Hunters.
More open and bigger.
Yeah, I would like something like that. I thought the coolest thing about Hunters was, for like the first time in the Metroid series, other than like the comic books, we actually got to see like other alien races. Like the red guy from the Warlike planet and the ice people.
I wish that was. I kind of wish it wasn't a DS game because I wish that was like an HD. I want to see what all those characters would be like in fully realized HD. Like that was fun. It was cool.
I wish that game was more appreciated because it was really cool. It got the gameplay was a little repetitive because, like you're saying, it's a DS game. After a while, I'm getting ready to fight this guy again. But cool concept, really cool concept. However, my dream game, and I really am committed to this now. I didn't even know I wanted it 2 minutes ago, but now I'm fully on board. It's gonna sound like a joke. I want Rockstar Games to design an F-Zero game. Okay?
Rockstar to design F-Zero. Go on.
So here's the thing. I don't want it to have Rockstar's sense of humor. I want it to be taken seriously. I want it to be treated as a Nintendo IP, but I want it to be made in that like GTA engine. Here's my pitch. Here's my thought process for what this game would be. Basically, picture GTA, but instead of like a little New York City, you have like Mute City, which is attached to Big Blue, which is attached to like, some third area in the F-Zero universe, right? These big
Rainbow Road.
Yeah, exactly. Rainbow Road.
Right.
These big open futuristic cities that you can go to. Hover cars everywhere, people walking the streets, making bets, doing crimes, the gritty world of F-Zero that we saw from like F-Zero GX and stuff. You can play as Captain Falcon, or maybe just play as your own character. And there's two aspects to the game, kind of like how there's two aspects to Captain Falcon. You've got the races that you can participate in that are just really good races, right? Back to like that F-Zero basic. You can tune up your car and like the garage and stuff and create the perfect machine and race against other racers. But then you can also do the other aspect of Captain Falcon that we never get to see, the bounty hunting, by like going out into the city in your car, driving around, stopping criminals, taking them into the police station, like being this vigilante Batman-esque superhero that he's supposed to be when you're not doing races, and like earning money to soup up your car and do more races. And I want this game. I want an open world GTA engine F-Zero game, and I think if it was done well, it could be really, really fun. So
man, who are you gonna pitch that one to? I want
Miyamoto and the head of Rockstar. Come on down, guys. Make it happen for me. Now, I want this, and it would never in a million years happen. But I want it so badly, and now that I've said it, I'm torturing myself because that's all I want in this world.
It's like you're just gonna have to make it yourself.
I'm just gonna have to make it it'll be called G01 because it has to be copyright free, and
that's amazing.
I want something like that. It'd be really fun. I've always thought one of the weirdest aspects of GTA is that you're always playing as like a dead set criminal, and like one of the things that's fun about like the Spider-Man open world games is you actually get to like swing around and stop crimes from happening. That would be so much fun. Imagine just like pulling up on a guy in the Blue Falcon and like running up to him and show me your moves and punching him right in the face, tying him up and bringing him to the cops. And man, just give me that game. So anyway, those are our answers to your question. If you have a question for us, and it doesn't have to be video game related, feel free to ask it in our Discord channel. I really appreciate all of you who have been participating in this lately. And Eugene, I appreciate you for spurring them on because I know that you poke and prod for questions every week, and it's given us some good material. So if you want to ask us a question, pop into our Discord and ask it in the question block channel, and Eugene will relay that to us so that we can discuss it here at the tail end of the show. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching or listening. We will be back again next week with another show. And until then, bye-bye.
Peace.
See you later. Bye-bye. Adios.
I don't remember what Justin's call sign is.
Good day, good morrow.
No, that was the old one. The good afternoon,
Shoot,
good evening,
I-
good night. No, he has,
yeah.
he has another one. Oh, it was like the Disney one, right? Like the world of imagination is a blanket in your hands. Something.
Isn't
like
it
that.
just like see you real soon or something like that?
It could be
Yes.
that
See you
soon.
real soon. That's it.
Nailed it.
Bye bye.